everybody, so we have a fun review today as we're talking Damsel. Every so often, there's a Netflix original film that does intrigue me, and this was the case here, mainly because I am a big fan of the fantasy genre. When Elodie agrees to marry a handsome prince, soon she realizes the truth that she was actually recruited to be a sacrifice to appease a bloodthirsty dragon. As she tries to survive hoping someone will save her, soon she realizes that no one is coming to save her, so she must save herself. Loving this genre so much, I always try to go into a new fantasy world with an open mind. Excited about the potential foundation the world can be built upon, and Damsel does an okay job at it, attempting to set the tone early, opening with this big battle against the dragon before whisking us away to the kingdom of Oreo with Elodie to wed this prince before the inevitable betrayal, of course. As far as setups are concerned, it is pretty conventional, almost taking too much time to kick the story into gear because going into the movie, we already know the big twist. However, the moment that Elodie is thrown off that bridge and it's a fight for survival against the dragon, this movie does pick up a lot of fun momentum. This cat and mouse style game between Elodie and the dragon surprisingly has some pulse-pounding, edge-of-your-seat moments, witnessing Elodie being chased around this giant mountain cave system. I mean, Elodie really goes through it as far as taking a ton of damage throughout the movie. There are so many different close calls, being burnt to death by dragon fire, falling through tight claustrophobic caverns. In some ways, this film kind of feels like a fantasy-themed version of Die Hard, just not as good as Die Hard. But one of the largest factors into why this cat and mouse style game is so enjoyable is due to the fact that the dragon actually speaks and consistently is taunting Elodie the entire time about her impending demise and how she's going to kill her and there's no hope. Big kudos to whoever decided that the dragon in this movie should be voiced by Shohreh Aghdashloo. The dragon has this kind of sultry flavor to its voice. It makes the taunting all that more great. It kind of added this slasher style influence to this ferocious, relentless dragon. Let's be real though, the main reason that most people are going to be tuning in to Damsel is for Millie Bobby Brown, who is carving out quite a name for herself on Netflix between Stranger Things, the Enola Holmes films, and Damsel, and by far, she is the best part of this film. She does a pretty great job showcasing this transformation for her character of Elodie, going from this reluctant princess to this fierce, badass warrior doing anything that she can to survive. It was pretty entertaining seeing Millie Bobby Brown try and do these big, elaborate action set pieces and stunts. Even if some of them don't look the greatest VFX-wise, though Elodie as a character is pretty light on characterization because we hardly get to know the character before she gets chucked off a bridge and is fighting for her life, I think for the most part as a character, Millie Bobby Brown makes it work. Unfortunately though, besides Millie Bobby Brown and I guess Shohreh Aghdashloo, the majority of the rest of the cast is kind of wasted. I'm always going to be pretty hyped when Angela Bassett is in a film, but she is given almost next to nothing to do in the movie as Elodie's stepmother. You barely even see her outside the first 25 minutes to begin with. Her entire screen time is basically centered around her being skeptical about what's going down between the kingdom and Elodie. And you pretty much don't even see Angela Bassett for the next 45-50 minutes, and then you're reminded that Angela Bassett is supposed to be in this movie when she pops back up again towards the very end of the film. Ray Winstone isn't given much to do either. Nick Robinson is a very one-note prince, and same goes for Wright, who is the evil queen, if you will. But there's no layers to her character, and there is never any attempts to give layers to the kingdom. Why they're so messed up, it's very surface level evil. For as much as I did enjoy the fantasy action, I gotta be honest, the VFX across the board throughout Damsel is all over the place. The most consistently good CGI is on the dragon. For the most part, the dragon is the best looking thing VFX-wise in the entire film. Whenever they're featured flying around, facing off against enemies, close-up shots, all of that stuff looks fantastic. It's just almost everything else that's very hit or miss. It's clear why the majority of the movie took place inside of this cave, because a lot of these attempts at big, sweeping fantasy exterior shots, they look pretty bad, and that is a combination of the bad VFX work and some of the lackluster production design. It's this odd mixture where there's certain sequences where certain parts of it have at least a substantial amount of time, money, and effort spent in them, and then the next shot, it looks like it's ripped right out of a commercial. And not a high-budget commercial, like one of those ads you see for a mobile game, a mobile fantasy game, advertising this big, epic experience. And then you download the app and it looks absolutely nothing like the ad that you just saw. I did allude to this a little bit ago, but the writing, by and large, also wasn't the greatest. It's very light on character characterization, even with Millie Bobby Brown's character herself. We barely know Elodie as a person and don't ever get to know her, since her only core desire is survival after these royals tried to sacrifice her to a dragon. I still would say that Millie Bobby Brown does her best to make this material work. I just was hoping for a little bit more, and I think the same criticism goes towards the villains of the movie, the kingdom itself. It's also surface level and honestly kind of predictable. They try to give a reasoning, a backstory behind why this kingdom has a deal in place between themselves and the dragon, and why they sacrifice people to the dragon. But even before they give you this backstory on why this kingdom is evil, you already see them as villains because they chucked Millie Bobby Brown off a bridge to her death and have been doing this consistently for X amount of years. So honestly, a lot of the conflict between Elodie and this dragon could have been avoided if they just had better communication skills. I mean, sure, the showdowns are entertaining, but the subversion in the third act, you can see coming from a mile away, regardless of the fact that the trailer for the movie pretty much gives away the entire plot. Stuff like that makes me feel bad for the creatives involved, because I'm pretty sure that was not their idea to pretty much have the entire plot of the movie spoiled in the trailer, but it pretty much is. So I don't expect Damsel to be this massive smash hit that kicks off a new fantasy franchise or anything for Netflix. It's a serviceable fantasy action adventure that's fun enough if you're craving something new fantasy-wise, or if you just want to see Millie Bobby Brown in something before Stranger Things Season 5. Also, if you're watching this review for Damsel and you have not watched the trailer, do not watch the trailer before you watch Damsel, because you will basically know the entire movie before going in to watch the movie. But now I've heard my thoughts on Damsel. Once you get a chance to check it out on Netflix, make sure you share your thoughts down below. What'd you think of the film? Did you like the film? Did you not like the film? Would you be interested in a Damsel 2? Do you think that this was good enough in the way that it ended to spawn a new fantasy franchise for Netflix? Either way, make sure you share your thoughts down below about the film, because part of the fun is to have that conversation with you guys in the comment section. And thank you guys, as always, sent videos. I always do appreciate it. Make sure to like on the video and also subscribe to the channel to update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. But next time, I'll see you guys later.